Hi, Peter Charles here. And let's talk about unscrambling our cameras so we can actually understand what's going on and actually be able to use them effectively. So let's talk about it. Now, I have a long background in training going back some 30 odd years. And I've taught a variety of subjects, business subjects like bookkeeping. I've taught computer subjects like how to understand Windows. I've taught fly fishing and fly casting, and I've also taught photography. And I see a lot of the same problems come up all of the time when people try to learn something. And I've seen this happen so many times, I've broken it down into a few simple things that stop people from learning. And that's really the issue is. A lot of people think they're not smart enough to learn, but the reality is that's not what's stopping them. They're plenty smart enough to understand. It's something else that's going on that prevents them from understanding what's going on. And in the case of cameras and photography, it stops them from unlocking this black box and figuring out what's actually going on. So what I've figured out is that there's basically three fears that interrupt people's ability to learn. One of them is the fear that they won't be able to understand. Because if you can't understand something, it's telling you that you're not very smart, and nobody wants to be told that. So it's easier to avoid running into that situation than actually trying to work against it. So people will often be afraid that they won't understand, so they don't try to understand. It gets in the way. They're often, especially with cameras, technical things like cameras and computers, people are afraid to try, afraid to use them. They're afraid they're going to break something. I've heard this so many times. Well, you know, the error message on the screen tells you exactly what to do. Why didn't you press OK? Well, I was afraid it was going to break something if I pressed OK. So that fear of breaking something, and it's illogical. Unless you throw this thing against the wall, you're not going to break it. And on some weird way that you might have screwed something up in the menu by saving something, customizing something, you can just reset the menu and you're back to square one. I mean, you cannot break this thing by using it. You can only break it by abusing it. And the other thing is a fear of looking stupid. They're afraid to ask questions. Somebody think I'm dumb that I don't know the answer to that. And that stops people from finding solutions. So I'm going to talk a bit about myself, then I'm going to talk about another example. And I'm not trying to blow my own horn here. It's just the idea that because I wasn't afraid, it was very straightforward for me to learn. The first few years of my photographic life, I had a plastic point and shoot where all you needed to know is how to load the film and how to advance it and how to press the shutter release. And then in 1969, I bought an Agfa Isolet 3 fully adjustable camera, which took 7 or 8 steps before you could take a picture. And it was used, so it didn't come with any kind of manual or anything like that. I had no instruction. I had no idea about anything about photography. And I bought a roll of film that came with an information sheet. So I sat down back at my grandmother's place, opened the camera up, worked everything, read the instruction sheet, and within an hour I had figured out how to use it. I knew what aperture was, shutter speed was, ASA as in those days instead of ISO, depth of field. I grasped all of that in about an hour after reading the information sheet that came with the roll of film. And the reason why was that I wasn't afraid to learn. There was no fear. I was very confident that all it would take is me poking around and I'll figure it out. And the same thing happened with computers. We owned a little Radio Shack computer at home for the kids, and I'd taken a computer course a bazillion years ago. When I was asked at work to build a rather advanced financial analysis tool in Lotus 123 on an IBM PC, and I literally had to be shown how to turn the thing on. I literally didn't even know where the on-off switch was on the IBM PC. So within 6 months of that, I was working in IT as a programmer analyst. And again, it was the idea that I wasn't afraid. I was confident that all I had to do was keep plugging away and I'd figure it out. I'd ask questions. I'd ask lots of questions. I'd read manuals. I'd look at other people's programming code. all these sorts of things, anything I could do to learn. And I just keep going and going and plugging away. And when I came in against a roadblock, I'd ask questions, bang away. And I find a lot of people, when they're dealing with technical subjects like cameras and computers, they're afraid to bang away at it. It's the fight or flight scenario, as they just run away from the problem. The opposite end of that, a store owner I used to deal with a lot, just a little small business. I bought a lot of stuff from him over the years. And he got a computer, and whenever it did something unexpected or he couldn't figure out what it was doing, he'd get furious. He'd call it rude names. I don't know why he didn't throw it out the window. He'd get horribly frustrated instead of just taking a moment to read the error message on the screen and going from there. And so he was the other end of the fight or flight. He wanted to beat the thing up. That was his response. So you can see it's fear that's preventing you from learning in the first place, whether it's fear of looking stupid, a fear of breaking something, or just afraid of not being able to figure it out. Whatever it is, it's fear that's stopping you from learning. The other problem is the difference between understanding and learning by rote. Learning by rote is just memorization. And that's how we're taught in school. I mean, you just pounded away at something to bash it into your brain. And then hopefully down the road, the light bulb of understanding would kick in. Well, unfortunately in photography, you do need basic understanding, not memorization, understanding of aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and white balance. Unless you have those four things down in terms of understanding, you'll never master this. You cannot rote memorize these things. You can say, oh, well, this is P is program. Well, now what does program do again? You're trying to memorize that stuff. It's impossible. If you don't use your camera on a daily basis, you'll never get that pounded into your head. If you pick your camera up once a month or once every 2 months, forget about it. But if you understand those things, you could put your camera down for 6 months and pick it back up again. And because you understand shutter speed, aperture, ISO, and white balance, you're able to find that functionality on the camera and make it do what you want it to do. So unfortunately, our education system is heavily dependent on rote memorization, when in reality we need to understand. So I'm going to put some videos up in the cards, my own videos of these subjects, and I approach it not from the memorization standpoint, but from the understanding component. So the other thing I want to talk about is the difference in our cameras. So I've got this X Pro 3 here, and you can see it has a compensation dial, a shutter speed dial, an ISO dial, and an aperture ring with apertures marked on it. It's very easy to instruct somebody on how to use this camera because they can find shutter speed, aperture, ISO very easily just by looking at the top plate and the lens. But when you're looking at something like this XM5, there's no aperture, there's no shutter speed, there's no ISO. It's all buried. And to make matters worse, this dial here and the dial at the front changes functionality depending on what mode you're in. So it's very, very frustrating for somebody to try to learn to take control of a camera when they're using a camera like this. It's incredibly easy to use this camera. Just stick it on automatic. Just put on automatic on the shutter speed, not shutter speed dial, the PSAM dial, and just point it at the subject and press the button. So you just have to know how to turn it on and press the shutter release. So when you don't want to take control of a camera, these are easy. But when you do, they're difficult. Everything's hidden. So that's where the understanding becomes so critical that if you don't understand, you'll never be able to figure out where the functionality is and how to make it work. So some suggestions on how to get around it. As I say, first thing, you have to understand the basics. The next thing, I would suggest you download the manual for your camera onto your desktop and use the search functions in it. So for example, if you can't remember how the exposure compensation works on your camera, put in exposure compensation in the search box and up it will come. Paper manuals were difficult for that. You have to go through tons of stuff to find it. But the online manuals are great. Just put what you're looking for in the search box and up it pops. I would also consider joining forums and photo clubs. So there's online forums for your camera model. So Join the forum and read the contents. And if you have to ask a question, say, I'm a beginner, how do I do that? In fact, some of the forums might even have a beginner forum that you can join where you can ask all these sorts of basic questions. So you don't have to look like, you're supposed to be an expert and you're asking a dumb question for an expert. You proceed your question with, I am a beginner, I need to know X. And people will tell you. And the other thing, as I say, is join photo clubs. There's always somebody there to help when you join a photo club. Surround yourself with other photographers. You'll pick up all sorts of information. Then once you've got to that stage, just shoot around the house. Go around the house, inside and outside, and try to take photos. Who cares about composition? You're just taking pictures of things. And I would suggest taking pictures of very different things. White doors versus black doors, for example. And why did my white door and my black door both turn out gray? That's a metering issue. So and then you have to know how to solve that problem. And this is what it gets down to, is becoming good at solving problems. So you've taken a picture of a white door and it's come out gray. Why? What went wrong? What do you need to do to correct the problem? And in this case, it would be exposure compensation. Open it up 2 stops. Bingo, you got a white door. But the question is, when I said about understanding, is you have to understand how the meter is making its decisions in order to realize you have to go 2 stops over. And if you don't know that, you'll just say, why have I got a gray door? And you're left with a puzzle that you can't solve. So that problem-solving process is where you gain the confidence to overcome the fears. Once you've got that confidence built up, I can solve the problem. I can figure this out. I know where to look. I can go on YouTube and find a solution. I can talk to somebody on the forum and I can find a solution. Whatever it is, you have confidence in problem solving. And that's going to enable you to use your camera, even if you put it down for 6 months and never pick it up. And then 6 months later you decide to use it, you will naturally fall right back into using it because you understand these things and you're confident in your abilities to solve problems. So that's really the key here, is we have to build up confidence in our ability to solve the problems with the camera or a computer or whatever it is. And if you lack that confidence, then you're going to get into the fight or flight fear response and give up. And put your camera down, walk away, and go back to using your phone. So if you want to master your camera, it really is about confidence. And there's no way around building confidence except by going out and doing it, making mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. Learn how to solve your mistakes. Know what went wrong. Why did it happen? What could I have done to prevent it? Answering these questions builds confidence, and then you'll always be able to master any camera you pick up. You'll be able to figure out how to make it work, and you'll get good results. So give that some thought if you're struggling with your camera. Cheers.